Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Karen. Today's video is about how to separate the structure of long Chinese sentences. I got this request from one of our Instagram followers, and I think it's such a great question because when you see a long line full of these square drawings, it's just headache, right? So, of course, the best solution is always to extend your vocabulary as much as you can, because when you know all the words and phrases, you will have no problem understanding the meaning of the sentence. But what if you just know parts of the sentence, you just know some words, then how can we at least get started to try to understand the meaning of it and try to separate the structure of different sentence components? That is what today's video is about, to give you guys some tips and tricks to at least get started. First, I'd like to address the differences between English and Chinese. English is a subject-prominent language, so when you see a long English sentence, the subject is the trunk, is the main part of the sentence, and from it grows many other smaller branches. But Mandarin is the topic-prominent language, so when you see a long Chinese sentence, it's more like the shape of a bamboo with several chunks. But these chunks, they're parallel with each other. They have their own meaning, their own structure, and even their own subjects. And that's the differences between these two languages. The first tip is always utilize the punctuation marks, including commas, colons, question mark, and this one. This one, I want to particularly address it because it is more often seen in Chinese. It is very similar to comma. The difference is that it is used to separate shorter components like words, phrases, or short expressions instead of sentences. Another thing is these words that are separated, they all have similar or exact the same structure. Let's see an example. 公园里有高大的树，翠绿的草，鲜艳的花。In the park, there are tall trees, green grass, and colorful flowers. So we use this punctuation mark to separate these small chunks that has the same structure. So whenever you see this punctuation mark, you'll know it is most likely that whatever they're separating, they have the same structure, they're parallel with each other, and that can really help you to start to understand the sentence. The second tip is to utilize a magic word called the. There are two major functions of the. The first one equals the single quotation mark plus s in English, meaning something belongs to someone. For example, my bag, 我的包, Mike's house, Mike 的房子. So this is the first function of the. The second one is to separate the further description of the subject and the subject itself. What do I mean by that? When you want to describe something, when you want to describe a subject, you will have all of the further description. In English, we could use with or that or which or who to kind of connect the clauses. But in Chinese, we put all of these description in front of the subject and with the the in the middle to separate them. Let's see an example. 我昨天看见一个穿着一套迷人的灰西装，长得超帅，个子超高的男生。Yesterday, I saw a really tall guy who looks super handsome in a dashing gray suit. So in this sentence, we want to describe that yesterday I saw a guy. But what is the characteristics of this guy? What is the further description of this guy? In English, we used who and after it a clause. But in Chinese, we can put all of these descriptions in front of the subject and with the in the middle, and then 男生, which is our subject, behind it. So knowing this trick, you'll be able to recognize whenever you see a the in the sentence, you know that whatever in front of the subject is most likely just a further description of the subject. The third magic word is 是. It is just like is in English. Many of the times, you will see a sentence structure like this, something, 是, and a bunch of description, and something. So the main chunks of the sentence is just something is something, A is B. So whenever you see the 是, remind yourself to look for the main component that the 是 is describing. Let's see an example. 中文是一门超级难学的语言，不是吗？ Chinese is a freaking hard language to learn, isn't it? So now we have our subject 中文 and 是 Chinese is something. We search and search till the very end of the sentence we found 语言. So it makes sense that Chinese is a language. Then what kind of language? Combining with the method that we learned previously, with this de, we know that whatever in front of this de is the further description of this language. That is how you can utilize 是 to understand the sentence. And the fourth magic words are 和,还有, and 或,或者. They basically mean and or. For example, 今天我和我室友还有他的同学要一起吃饭. Today, my roommate, her classmate, and I are going to have a meal together. So you see this long subject in front of the sentence, but basically it's just several components A and B and C. It's a very simple structure. So once you recognize this 和,还有, or 或 or 或者 as connecting words, so it'll be really easy for you to recognize the structure of the sentence. The fifth tip is utilize all of the linking words you learn in Mandarin. I summarized 5 categories of linking words based on their functionality and based on what they want to express. The first category is to describe and or then. We have 那么, 然后, 还有, 并且, 以及. Second category is to describe such as or for example. We have 比如, 例如, bīfāngshuō. Bīfāngshuō is more colloquial and informal. The third category is to describe so or thus or therefore. We have 因而, 因此. The fourth category is to describe in order to do something, for the purpose of. We have 来 and 去. The fifth category is to describe how to do something. So you're basically inserting a question in a sentence. We have 怎么 and 如何. So now we have covered all of the tips and tricks. Let's see some real-life examples. And most of these examples are gathered from our Instagram posts because we're so guilty of using those super long sentences. So let's see how we can use the tips and tricks we've talked about previously to really start to understand the structure of these sentences. Let's have a look at the first example. 一种长句是内容丰富、陈述比较细致、成分多而复杂的句子. Whenever we see a freaking long sentence, take a deep breath and look for the main body in the sentence. So we're looking for the subject, the verb, and the object. In this sentence, the subject is 一种长句, a type of long sentence. Then we have our critical word 是, meaning is. So type of long sentence is something, right? Quite often that the object appears at the very end of the sentence. So in this case, the object is 句子, which is at the end of the sentence. Now we have our body. 一种长句是句子. Then what kind of 句子? We're spotting the word 的 here. So we know that whatever before it is most likely to be the further description of our object. Then we see the 2 punctuation marks, so we know that the 3 parallel phrases in the middle are the features of the object, which is 句子 in this case. So the meaning of the sentence is, a type of long sentence is the type that has rich content, 内容丰富, careful description, 陈述比较细致, multiple and complex components, 成分多而复杂. Let's have a look at the second example. This is from our Instagram post. 这是我们持续为中文学习者提供有用的内容的最大的动力. Ignore the hashtags over here. So the same method, look for the body. 这是, which means this is, and then the object is 动力, which is at the end of the sentence. So 这是动力, this is motivation. Then what kind of motivation? Same method, whatever in front of the 的 is the further description of this object, of the motivation here. So this sentence basically means this is the biggest drive for us to keep creating useful content for Chinese learners. The third example, 这集视频里我们会一起看看怎么标声调的问题. The first part is quite simple. In this video, 这集视频里 we'll look at the second part, which is a bit long. So the subject of the second sentence is 我们, we, and the verb is 看看 have a look at. And then the object is 问题 problem. What kind of problem? 什么样的问题？怎么标声调 Remember what we said? 怎么 means how to or how. So how to place tone letters. This is the further description of our object, 问题. So in this episode, we're going to have a look at the problem of how to place tone letters. The fourth one, 想知道它们的区别吗？以及如何合理运用这些词语去打动帅哥美女吗？ So let's tackle the second part again because it's quite long. After the comma, we have a word 以及 meaning and, then 如何 meaning how to. 合理运用这些词语 means how to properly use these words. So we have another keyword here, 去. Remember what we've talked about? 去 means to or in order to or for the purpose of. So how to properly use these words to do something, to impress charming guys and girls. The last example. 让我们一起来学一些在日常生活中更常用的词汇吧。So 让我们 means let us. The verb is 学 to learn. And the object is as usual at the end of the sentence, 词汇 vocabulary. So let us learn vocabulary. What kind of vocabulary? Do you see the magic word here? The? So 在日常生活更常用的 vocabulary that are more frequently used in daily life. And that is today's video. I hope it is helpful to you guys. If you have other cool tricks to understand Chinese sentence structure, please leave it down below and let others know. Also, if you have further problems and questions you encounter while learning Mandarin, you can always message us on our Instagram accounts or leave a comment down below. I'm Karen. See you guys next time. Bye.